Been a long time overdue, guys. I have talked for years about American women and how screwy they are. And before I get started, I realize that men from all walks of life in this country may or may not stumble onto this video, and this channel will have their comments. My hair, my glasses, my chain, my style, whatever. I don't care. I'm going to address the facts. I grew up in this culture. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. And we grow up in an environment, and we think that when we grow up in an environment and we don't know the truth or we have nothing to contrast it true, we either think this is normal or there's something wrong with us. When I was a kid, I was bullied. I was made fun of for my red hair, my thick glasses. That has never left. That has never left. I had an abusive mother. I always tried to win her approval, my family's approval, and I found out that didn't work. I became a Christian, went to church, tried to dot my I's, cross my T's. That didn't work. And I learned something about this culture. It doesn't matter where I lived. I have lived in several states in the United States, lived overseas and in Southeast Asia. Wherever you go, there you are. And no matter where you go, there are always a group of people that will never accept you. There are always a group of people that will ridicule you, laugh at you, put you down. And a lot of people do that to build themselves up. I was a commercial driver for years. I'm still a commercial driver, but I'm not driving. I maintain my CDL, but I am no longer driving commercial. You learn a lot through the windshield. And after 25 years of driving buses and trucks, a sad statistic reared its ugly head. Most people don't know how to drive in this country. They think the law doesn't apply to them. They think they can reinterpret the speed limit. They don't use a blinker. They tailgate. They pass through no passing zones, run stop signs, don't wait their turn at a stop sign. And the classic American male penis move of all. Right lane ends, move to the right. Dickhead gets in right lane. There's the cones narrowing down to one lane, and they're going to go, boom. No turn signal, no politeness. We're just going to cut off the car that was waiting in line. And anybody just taps their horn, hey, that wasn't right. The dickhead goes, ugh. When we got something called ass UVs, and that is what they are. There's videos out there. There's a guy that said that most people that buy SUVs are assholes, and I totally agree with that. Arrogant, cocky, I've seen it all the time. Loaded school bus, Denver, and there is no lane. There's a right turn lane, and you get some geek with his trophy immature wife with fake boobs, and he's going to cut in front of me, and I honk the horn as he's almost hitting me, and he just goes like this. What a man. Or I've got the Highlander and I'm driving like this. Guy probably never pushes a walk behind lawnmower in his damn life, but I'm in my Sequoia and I'm a badass. I step into an air-conditioned office all day and say, I'm doing well. And I get on the street, I'm an idiot. American men, they talk tough. They run their mouth. What the fuck you say? It's all show. They're scary, but they're not tough. They run their mouth. They might even fight, but they're not tough. They're pussies. They're insecure. They're overcompensating for small penis syndrome. We see it all across the USA with the music blasting and shaking neighborhoods out of cars. Look at me. I'm insecure as fuck. Everybody notice me and my shitty music. The classic one is when I'm sitting there minding my business and I'm not doing anything and I'm at a light looking ahead and dickhead pulls up next to me. Lum, lum. I like to mess with them. They're the funnest. I don't even look. I don't even flinch. Windows down, Colorado. Look ahead, pretend to look at something over here to the right. Corner of my eye sees the light change. And when I had my 302 95 F-150, I just go, boom, dart up to the speed limit and just hold it. Since I'm not looking at the guy doesn't accelerate. He's like, oh, he's not even looking at me. Why are you trying to impress me, man? I'm not your woman. Why would you be trying? And that's what guys do. I'll be raking my own yard and somebody's got to pull up. I've got my back to them. And some idiot in a Crown Vic with 3-foot rims wants to make noise. You need my approval? You want me to stand up and go, oh God, I wish I could be like you. I don't know how to rev an accelerator pedal. I don't know how to spend $10,000 on fucking rims for an old police car, and you paid more for the rims and the stereo than you did for the car. God, I wish I could be like you. Oh, I'm a homeowner, fool. You bought a depreciating asset. Sucks to be you. And you play your pimpy ding dong ding dong bunga ding ding bong bong. I'm an S. Blah, 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 and the N word peppered in there. Yeah, okay. I'm moved to get earplugs to talk to my tech buddies about inventing a remote control that I can point and click and fry your speakers. People hear me talk. They don't agree with me. That's fine. But then oh, I'd like to kick his fucking ass. That's the American dysfunctional male. You step on their toes with something they don't want to hear, I'll fucking kick his ass. Wow, you're such a damn man. Not. People have a problem with this. Men and women. When I was in Colorado, somebody turned around like, why are you wearing that chain? I feel like saying, well, why is it your fucking business? I'm standing in line buying a product. What does this have to do with you and what you're doing in the store? When I used to work at a truck center, and I have to go into truck dealerships, and sales guys can be the biggest ego trips out there. Doesn't matter if they're making only $5,000 a year in commission or $250,000. I met good salesmen. I met ego trips. White males are tough. I don't like a lot of white males because they are truly the definition of assholes. They bully. Doesn't matter what age they are. Denver Tech Center, when I used to drive school bus and had to cover routes down there, I hated it. Suit and tie spacky geeks that probably never do an honest day of yard work in their life and drive their Lexus and their shitty little overpriced, stupid little tin cans, run through the stop sign, you honk, and they go like this with their suit and tie. I wish I had the ability to do a video of that. Walk into their corporate office on the 10th floor and say, hey, boys, come here. I want to show y'all something. I want to show you a really cool thing your boss did today. The sad thing is, I show that to most men. They think it was funny that their boss did that. If you can't drive right about a damn school bus, you're wearing a suit and tie and you're pulling 6-digit figures, you're an idiot. I don't care if you live in a gated community. I don't care if you have a trophy wife, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm going to attack a lot of this. The biker culture. Guys that don't take a bath, got pit hair 8 inches long under their arms, big pot gut, balding, and they pull up and think they're a badass. God forbid their bike fall down. They might not be able to pick it back up. And I met bikers that I like. I'm not against biker culture, but it's like there's this macho bullshit that radiates all through culture. Cyclist culture. Talk about a bunch of dicks on bikes. American men wearing skin tight shit and blowing through traffic lights, blowing through stop signs, weaving in and out of traffic, and demanding we share the road with these morons. You're supposed to follow the same laws. Fuck you. Kids crossing in front of my bus, and a cyclist goes through and almost hits a kid. I said, you're supposed to stop. Laughs and flips me off. Yeah, like I can chase them down in a bus, right? Dumb. Why do Americans do this? Just like I said yesterday, You got a dick culture, gamer culture, and social digital creator culture, legends in their own mind that are going to go and be obtuse. They're going to get up in the morning and they're going to fuck with society. They're going to fuck with the cops. They're going to fuck with people. The ones that you're coming down an aisle, somebody sees you, you're on the right, they see you moving at a good clip, you got your cart, you're to the right, you're no threat. Then they're going to turn their cart all the way around and block the aisle and stare at you. What you going to do now? I'm going to pick up my pace. I'm going to measure the parameter between that glass frozen vegetable cooler door and your cart. And I'm going to go through there and cause you to go, fuck, he didn't slow down. Yep, I got that much room. And if my handle bushes the side of your cart, I don't care. Why do you got to be like that? The definition of tough is not throwing down. The definition of tough is not yelling the F word in somebody's face at the top of your lungs. Definition of tough is standing up against this stuff and saying, you know what? I don't care who you are. You're not tough. You're just a pussy. And you're overcompensating for some deficit in your life. The greatest men that I know are the ones that have brute strength under control. The greatest men I know are people like, let's pull it out, man. Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, most people thought he was gay. He had no scandal, no controversy. He had a children's program for years called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He was probably the most well-adjusted male that I've ever seen on television. You didn't hear him putting down people. You didn't hear ego. He didn't have something to prove. And the guy was in the damn military. He had his wife. His mother made him the classic sweaters that he'd take off and hang in the closet at the start of the show. But of course, when I was in middle school, me and my cousin said he was gay and an FAG and on, and found out he was anything but that. And what's funny is over the years, I meet grown macho men in trucking and all different manners of stuff. And I've had good talks with men like that. And they said, I don't like a lot of the guys out there. The kind of men that I'm friends with are people that can let their guard down and be real and honest, even about things that men are least likely to be honest about. Dickheads in SUVs and those hitting the I-70 corridor up in good old Colorado, those aren't men. They're buttholes. They're buttholes. And I say that. And people will get offended to hear that. Well, you shut up. I got a right to my opinion. You got a right to yours. I've seen you. I've watched you. I don't like you. So I moved myself from those environs. Piece of granola. Stuff is good stuff. I do not, and because I tried to fit in all my life, be accepted, win the approval of others, now I no longer do that. I push the envelope. I wear stuff like this and I go to Home Depot and buy lumber. I don't stare, but I take a mental note of what people do. The macho guy with his mousy wife that doesn't have natural blonde hair, dyed it blonde. She's really not all that, but thinks that she looks good behind a powerboat on jet skis. And they like the way men and women look at me with the disdain and the disapproving look. I'm no threat to them. I'm just getting my stuff and leaving. All my life, on here, in every workplace, I've had men be assholes to me. Ironically, now I live in a place where it's more Black African American than Caucasians, like 53 against 35%. I meet quite a few Black men that don't get up in my face and say stuff. There's Black men that do. But I think a lot of white culture is scary. I think they have a false sense of bravado and machismo. That men think that they're tough. That you went to college, you make six-digit figures, you bought a Lexus, and you can't even obey traffic laws and show respect to your fellow man out there? What's wrong with you? That's what I want to know. How about the whole corporate mentality? Talk about insecure, overcompensate asshole culture. Quick to take your money, and then they develop a call center where you're on hold for hours and hours. We're really sorry. We have an unusually high call volume, yeah, because you made a shitty product and a shitty customer service and you can't deal. How you doing today? I'm doing well. Fuck you. You're a liar. Corporate culture is cutthroat. And if you don't measure up or you don't play their little dumb game, you're not going to get a job. You're not going to get promoted. You're not going to get in the environs. Then I don't want to be in those. I'm a free spirit and I like that. And I'm learning more and more. There's evil, evil, evil elitist men out there. You know, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, big, rich power cats. They don't like us. They don't like us blue collar, down on the earth, pickup truck, hardworking guys that want to be left alone and just enjoy their freedom. They want to control us. Revenge of the nerds, revenge of the geeks. We see it all too well. Social media has become extremely dominating. This was not started by muscle-bound, bodybuilding, wood-splitting, tree steeple-jacking men with 4-foot-long chainsaw blades. It was geeks. The Zucksterization of the internet. But there's another group of dangerous people. They're basement dwellers. They're video game addicts. Don't underestimate them. They live in the dark regions of role play games. I'm not against video game playing. I'm not against people enjoying the camaraderie of getting together with other guys and gals and gaming. I am against gratuitous violence, San Andreas, car theft San Andreas. I don't support that. And when people have a steady obsession with that, you can't help but wonder, when are they going to get tired of sitting in the basement and decide they want to go out and turn this into reality? I don't want those people as neighbors. I don't. My biggest trolls on the internet have been gamer addicted people. I didn't do anything to them. It all started when I did a video about an Oregon shooting. And I said, I wonder if anything of this has to do with being addictions to violent video game playing. And I'm not going to mention the names of the low ass worms that got on here and took time to make videos. Oh, fuck you, Pacific. What a fucking retard. That's all they can do. Venom and pus and venom and pus. They didn't bring any facts. They didn't stand on any facts. They prove that they're the video game retards that they are. That their only output is just to just cuss and put down and make fun of my looks and make fun of everything. Well, sorry, dude. I didn't know you were checking me out for a date. What's the matter with you? I don't date your type. I date chicks. But you know what's funny? When you be yourself in this culture, most American men that are insecure and playing overly macho, they're not going to like you. They'll intimidate you. They'll bully you in the workplace. They'll bully you on the road. I had a guy in Colorado in a white Jeep Wrangler type thing. I'd go down 20th Avenue in Lakewood when I was living out in the western suburbs. I'm going to work. I'm going the speed limit, snow or clear. I'm going the speed limit. Guy would ride my ass, got his high beams on and all over the line. And one day I just finally stopped. He stops and I wave my arm, go fuck, go around me. And this guy kept doing it. So one day I let him go around me. I watched the street he turned off at and I saw him go to a Lakewood rec center. I didn't pull in the parking lot, but I pulled in the street, held up my phone with a little light shine, and I just sat there and looked out the window. And sat there for a long, creepy moment. You men in America better think about something. You may think you can take me or anybody else. You don't know if they got a fucking Uzi in their truck. You don't know if they got a pocket pistol. You don't know if they've had enough in life and they just walk up to you and say, you know what, you son of a bitch? Think you're tough? Stop the bullet as your face explodes. Why do American men fail to think? You look at somebody, you look at the way they dress or look, and you make an assertion that you got this. Kind of like the Titanic saying it's unsinkable. That little geeky looking guy that you want to make fun of and tease, he might be the one that comes in strapped in full regalia into a public place one day and blow out 20 people. And you might be one of them. I don't care how macho you are, drive your car or SUV like a dickhead. You're not tough. You're a fucking idiot. And I believe that we've got dysfunction on all levels. And let me say it again. I am not against people being into video games. Violent ones, yeah, I got a problem with that. I mean, I'm sorry. I grew up on Tempest, Centipede, Frogger, Pac-Man. They were benign. Missile Command. I never could get Missile Command to work. You roll that ball around and I'd strike, and it was so painfully slow. And you're like, great, watch all the missiles hit me and I can't stop them because I blew all my weaponry out. Now you're seeing heads roll. You're knocking people out of cars to steal their car. Yeah, I have a right to a viewpoint. I don't think kids should be raised on that kind of a culture. I don't believe that men have the right to come up to me or anybody else that they disagree with and shout us down, bully us, harass. We all have a right to speak our mind. We all have a right to say what we need to say. But you don't have a right to intimidate, bully, and cuss out somebody. And these new young punks getting up in the face of cops and trying to show that they don't know law and don't know their job. What's wrong with you? You need to go to that mental institution into a padded cell. Leave people alone. And I've talked about African American culture. They've got one of the highest percentages of violent crime, black on black. 13% of the US population, approximately 43 million African Americans. And Morgan Freeman himself, I'm going to quote him direct. 75% of the problems in the African American community are brought upon by themselves. 75% of the children raised in a lot of black communities are raised by mothers who don't have the tools or the skills to be raising children. And because dad cum dumps all the women in the black culture and runs off. Now there are black. I don't need to say this, but I have to because you always got some dickosaurus out there. Oh, I'm glad you paint a picture that all blacks are this way. Not all blacks are this way, morons, but a lot of blacks are, and a lot of black men, they walk around intimidating, play their and do urban terrorism in their car, but they can't be a fucking dad. And they're going to tell me what you got, what you say, white boy. And they're going to pull all that. You can't be a dad. You're not tough. You're scary. You're a thug culture. You're an idiot, but you're not tough. You're not a man. You're a little insecure boy that grew up under emotionally driven logic because you were raised by an out of control black woman who yelled and screamed, and you never learned how to deal with conflict. So either pick up a gun and shoot people or you fight them. That's not a well-adjusted male. African American America. Learn the art of disagree, agree to disagree, and keep it moving. And keep yourself out of fucking jail. Go raise that kid that you cum dump that woman. Okay? Be a man. You want to talk about us whites, black people? You keep raising a generation of kids that feel unloved. Little black boys that I work with every day. Every day. They call me daddy. Stop right there. Black women. No bra. Tits and nipples showing. Where's the man? She's beautiful. What the fuck? Why did he leave her? You created the kid and you blew out of there. No child support, nothing. But now you bought a cop car and you put 3-foot pimpy rims and you go through the neighborhood and look at a guy like me. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. What you looking at? Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm not impressed. I tell you what, it takes guts to be me. It takes guts to be me in this world because the enemies that I have are all around me. I don't make them. They're made by themselves. We live in a hostile male culture, folks. 50% of all marriages end in divorce. Not all of them are the fault of women. Not all of them are the fault of women. There's some women that'll give you their all and you fucked them over and you turn them into a jaded, calloused bitch. Congratulations, man. I know a guy I work with that's bragged that he's been through half the employees I work with. He's got a beautiful Jamaican wife and he fucks woman after woman after woman. I said, what would you do if your wife knew? I'd kill whoever told her. I said, oh, but you have no shame in cheating. And he showed me pictures in his phone. Yeah, this is true story. Black man scrolling picture after picture. Tits large and small, sizes shorter, tall. He fucks them all. And I looked from the chest down, boobs that sag low, wobble to and fro. Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? I said, wow, your Jamaican wife is beautiful. What is this? He goes, what do you mean? I said, you dig in the dumpster. His coworker and sidekick was standing there and started laughing. I said, he does. Look at these women. These aren't pretty. They're gross. They're not even sexy. It's about getting P-U-S-S-Y, mate. It's about getting P-U-S-S-Y. I said, no, it's about honoring your vows, dude. And I walked out. I said, see ya. Mr. Rogers embodies more machismo. Doesn't have to yell, doesn't cuss, doesn't have to flex his muscle or rev his accelerator. I don't care what all these geeks in cars and trucks say. You're not impressive. You're just an idiot. You're scary. You're insecure. You're doing all this dumb behavior because you're dumb. And I'm different than all of most American men. And I'm not ashamed of it. I don't want to be like them. I can talk about trucks. I can talk about engines. I can talk about a little bit about everything. But I'm an individual. And I don't swim with the salmon rushing to my death. I swim against stream and I go where I want to go. And I experience what I want to experience. And one of the things that I've seen with men is they have a problem with somebody being an individual. If you don't fit in with the football, basketball, baseball crowd, or you don't fit in with the let's lift our truck 10 feet tall and scream up and down the main drag and do burnouts and blowouts and rev your engine and make a bunch of noise and roll coal. But what about Christian men culture? How's that doing? Depends on where you go in this country. You got Christian soy boy men? Well, we need to learn to show the love of God. Okay, what does that look like, soy man? What does that look like? You go to a lot of churches and somebody like me speaks the way I speak. Pastors, other Christians don't approve. Does that mean I'm wrong and they're all right? Could be. I mean, technically speaking, from a logical viewpoint, if most everybody's telling you the same thing, you might want to listen. What if most everybody that's telling you the same thing is all going the wrong direction, but they won't listen to the things that I see? Boom, that's the end of that discussion. Being a man is being honest with yourself. Being a man is being honest about your struggles. Being a man is not peacocking and posturing in front of other males and hiding all that stuff you're scared to death anybody else would see. Being a man is what most men don't do in this country. Oh, they'll brag that they go to work and talk tough and put on their boots. And I worked my ass off in this union job laying steel, and I ran a mixer and I did this. That doesn't make you a man. Going to work, guys, going to work every day, whether you feel like it or not. Yeah, that's part of manhood, but women are doing that too. So, let's not get overly macho here. What is a man? Facing the truth. And what we have in this culture that I address is the penis syndrome. A lot of men play their music loud and tear around because they got a push pop between their legs and are overcompensating. I don't care what anybody says. Men have a problem based on the size of their ding dong. Men have a problem with a lot of things. Men are just as insecure. We talk about women and emotionally driven logic. We have raised a generation of emotionally driven thinking of women today or men because they've been raised, especially in the African American community. Why is the crime so high with black on black in American black African American communities? Because most of them, the bulk share of black boys are raised by black women who just turn around and yell and scream and cuss. They don't have a man to say, hey, son, we're not going to do that. Okay. They don't have that steady hand. We need a woman and a man when it comes to raising a child, the balance of the two. When you have it out of balance, you raise a generation of, well, fucked up people. You look at somebody the wrong way, you comment on their wrong ways, you might get shot. Is that good parenting? I don't believe it is. I believe a lot of males are insecure. They just mask it. They strut, they hide behind something, a leather jacket, this, any number of things to prove to themselves that don't fuck with me. I'm mad. Okay. Yeah, not. American culture has a lot of dysfunction with men, from the corporate offices to the church offices to the jackasses in their SUVs acting like assholes. How about the Starbucks male culture? They're some of the biggest pricks on the planet. The bicycle culture, dicks on bikes. If you can't follow the traffic laws and show respect to the cars out there, why are you yelling at all the car drivers that don't respect you? Personally, I don't believe these damn bikes belong in heavy traffic areas with cars. You want to bike to work, go live in China, but even China got rid of the bikes and they're buying cars. You're kind of going about things backwards, dude. I rode my bicycle years ago and I did an experiment. I don't wear the skin tight GAY wear that these men wear that frame their balls and nuts and butt crack, endorsed by all these endorsers. And I rode and I used my hand signals for left, for left, for right. I waited until the light changed. I watched vehicles and I found I didn't get into it with motorists. I found that motorists respected me wearing my plain clothes, t shirt, and jeans, and seeing me do it. They were more willing, even in this hostile shit society, they were more willing to respect me. But we all have adrenaline. And it never failed me when I was driving the bus in Colorado with a busload of students and children who got an educational reason for going up into the mountains. And you got three cyclists with their sweaty, greasy, skin tight butt pants. And you come around a blind curve on the mountains. And I'm going all of 25 miles an hour. And you see three silly men going 1 mile an hour up that hill. Now, the law tells me I got to move over if I have three or more vehicles behind me, if I can. You get up on some of the mountain roads I've been on, there's no shoulder. So you got to wait for a little passing zone. But do the cyclists do that? And I noticed something. They like to be control freaks. I wouldn't get right up on their tail. I'm considerate. I'd stay back. But they're all three hogging the road. I can't get around them. It's not safe to pass. Solid double yellow line, blind curves. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. And I'd stay back. And the teacher would look at me and said, "Really?" I said, "Yep, they don't have to move." She goes, "You got to be kidding me. We got to be stuck behind." I said, "Yep." But I said, "But watch this." And I would just gently go, one of the cyclists would turn around and give me the look. She laughed. I said, "You think they're get tired of that and maybe move over and let me go around?" She goes, "They really are enjoying the control they have." I said, "Yep." I said, "Why did legislatures allow them to be on here where there's no shoulder, no bicycle lane, no adequate room, and a big vehicle like this needs to get its speed up to go up the mountain grade?" Yeah, I don't have respect for cyclists in Colorado. They're some of the biggest dicks on wheels. They're going to take on a car, a semi truck, and think they're tough. And one of the most satisfying things to me in Colorado is they lock their feet in the pedals. Then they'll pull up to a light and they just run the light, but when there's so much traffic they can't, so they sit there and they're trying to balance, and once in a while I get the privilege of seeing these arrogant dicks just fall over, and you're looking at them going and I didn't know their feet were locked, and I'm like, why did they just fall over on their bike? Then they're trying to pick themselves up, and nobody gets out and helps because the general prevailing view in Colorado is, you know what, fuck the cyclists. But a lot of men, not just cyclists, but SUV drivers, pickup truck drivers, you get an icy day. I remember a tow truck in Denver. I moved into the left lane. The visibility was poor. There was stuff flying around, the snow. My windshield's getting smeared up with the mag chloride, and a tow truck hauls around me on the right, cuts in, sending a spray load of shit. I laid on the horn, put the high beams on, couldn't get the name of the record company. What would have happened if I'd have done that to him? Just pulled in front of him, hit all the shit, shitted up his windshield. And this is why I don't like most American males. They think it's funny to shit on people. They laugh about it. But watch what happens when you do the same to them. Mirror what they do. I was at a factory years ago, and there was a guy named Lee. He was from Iowa. He's a big meat and potatoes guy. Clearly, he could beat me in a fight just on might alone. And I was the happy warehouse worker. I was busy. I worked my ass off. I had to pull production cards from the line, and I was sweating and I was going. My other coworker and I were production pullers. Victor and I, we put on probably about a marathon worth of miles a day in that 8-hour shift. And I'd whistle and I'd, make happy noises and come back there. And Lee would say, "Man, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass." And he would do this, do this. And I finally stopped the cart, threw my clipboard down, and I walked right up to him. I said, "Kick my butt or shut up." "Mike," I said, "no, put up or shut up. I'm tired of this. Do something or shut your mouth." "Mike, hold on, I'm just playing." I said, "I'm not." He didn't touch me. I ended up buying a 78 Chevy van from him, a Kenwood stereo, a washer and dryer, and an antique buffet. I ended up renting an apartment to him in the apartments I was managing downtown, and we got along. Lee turned out to be all right. One of the things I've learned about men in this culture is the ones making all that damn noise, they're the most insecure. They're the biggest pussies and cowards. The ones that you need to fear are the ones that are very quiet, that don't wear their muscles and their macho in their sleeve. Those are the ones that will rise up and tear you up. if push comes to shove. The yapping chihuahuas are yapping chihuahuas. They cuss, they intimidate. And I don't know why men in this country like to fuck with people, whether it's me or anybody else in traffic. That does not make them a man, it makes them an asshole. When they got to play now the games with social media, you got these little geekish turds that want to take on the police. Well, you obviously don't know the law, police officer. And you look at the comments, all these douchebags, and you can look at their pictures, you can look at what they post on their Facebook, and you go, yeah, none of these people are doing good for society. They're just shitheads. They're the ones that endorse rioting and busting and stealing and acting like buttholes. I'm not going to get behind them. And a lot of gamer culture, they went there because they weren't popular in school. They were laughed at, teased. So they go into this underground and they think because they're good at a video game that they can kick everybody in our ass. Now they're going to troll with their video cameras. They're going to go read just a few things about law. You do not have to move from a public sidewalk. You don't have to do this. And they go out there and flex their tiny little eensy knowledge of one minutia law. And they're going to go out there and, nope, I don't have to move. It's a public sidewalk. What's your name and badge number? Where's your license? I don't have to show you my license. Oh, so you expect the cop to identify himself, but you don't have to identify. You're a dick. You're an asshole. You're just there to cause trouble. You should be cuffed, arrested, booked, and charged. I have met, and I personally, when I haven't even done anything wrong, when I had to go to the police for different things, I met asshole cops. But I'm not going to stand up there and say, you know what? You're a dickhead. You can't talk to me this way. I'm going to be like, you're in their lair. But I got a problem with Karen males because that's what they are. Just trying to start something. You're not in law enforcement. You're a basement dweller. You call yourself a digital creator. I notice a lot of people are claiming that title. Yeah. Trash is a creation too. And a lot of your stuff is garbage. And when I find these channels on the Facebook's gotten so bad, all it is negativity. It's showcasing American assholes at their finest, driving in traffic, running lights, endangering everybody, fleeing the cops. And these are the same people when a cop finally catches up and shoots them, and then the black community says, "Oh, it's white racism." Do you know how many sons of bitches that driving that way almost killed families, whites, Asians, Mexicans, and you didn't give a shit? But now when the police has got to come up and go because he won't comply, now you want to cry racism? I'm done listening to the African American community a long time ago. The only card they play is racist. They'll call me a racist. They'll tell me shut the fuck up and talk tough and threaten because that's all they know. That's it. And they don't want us to look at them a certain way, but they do look at us a certain way, and they fling racial shit at whites all day long. The majority of the African American community of males gets a fantastic fail. They're not raising their children properly. They don't even involve with most of their children properly. And the little boys grow up to follow in daddy's deadbeat shit footsteps. We're not going to talk about my race. You don't have a right. I have African friends overseas that are just awesome people. I have Pakistani friends. I have friends in other countries where they're real men. This crap here is ghetto thug culture. And I don't care if people disagree with me. I expect that. But if I leave a comment on a video that shows a black guy leaning back on his motorcycle with his black girl on him, and he's just riding his bike and swerving in and out of traffic, and I just put, these guys have a death wish, and a black woman puts an angry face. Why would you do that on a street and you got your girlfriend behind you? Because silly little girls like show off dumbass men that could result in them getting killed. That's why. Girls don't follow substance anymore. Not in that culture. Listen to the music they're listening. Cardi B, my wet ass. See, really? That's great stuff. Not. Where's the men standing up against that? Eminem is a man, an angry rapper. He's horrible. He doesn't have music. He doesn't have talent. It's crap. And just me saying that will offend everybody that thinks he's a man. No, he's not. He's an angry little boy, fuming and venting and making millions of dollars on it. No, real men get up and pull up their big boy pants and go to work every day. Real men treat people right. Real men use their turn signals. Real men go the speed limit. Real men don't bully other people in traffic, even if they're going under the speed limit. Real men need to read the little section in the highlights for children, goofus and gallant. And men need to learn to act like gallant, show manners, and be bigger than that. America turns out one of the highest percentage of dysfunctional, fucked up males. And we've got this whole movement, support our troops. I do not support our troops. A lot of them act like assholes. They come off the military base and they're driving like a fool. Oh, you're all about following the rules in there, but you get out here and act like a dick. I've worked around jarhead Marines yelling and screaming like they're still in the Marines. Hey, I'm not in the Marines, buddy. Don't talk to me that way. Why serve my fucking country? I don't fucking care. Oh, you're an asshole. We're at work. We're in an aluminum factory. Stop playing macho. If you're such a badass, go back and join up. Stay there. I don't deal well with macho ego men. You're going to look down your nose and go and do that to me? Yeah, that creates a problem. You expect me to respect you? I don't. I can't. I won't. A lot of American males are not well adjusted. That's why they buy SUVs. That's why they do the dumb things they do, overcompensating for the deficit. That's not okay. It's okay, man, to admit you're scared shitless. It's okay to admit that you might have a turn on or a fetish that you're embarrassed for anybody to know. It's okay to be a fucking man and be honest. But if you got to overcompensate and drive like an asshole in traffic and somebody else pulls up next to you and said, I don't know why you're driving like that. Oh, you want to fucking go, man? No, I want you to get the fuck away from me is what I want you to do. And don't endanger my ass. I'm not allowed to say something, but you're going to threaten me? Really? If you don't want feedback, quit acting like a fuckhead. I think most American males in this country are assholes, dicks. And I've seen it all my life, and I've been silent long enough. The few male friends that I have, they don't act like that. They're people I met through the social media, my channel, former channel. I don't have a problem if a man thinks I'm good looking. I don't have a problem if a man likes watching figure skating. I don't have a problem with a man like Mr. Rogers, who ran a non-scandalous TV program with children. He wasn't a pedophile. He never uttered a cuss word. The man was impeccable. I challenge all these idiot males out here to compare their life to Mr. Rogers and prove to me how they're better than him. You run lights. You cut in and out of traffic. How about the business spacky? They're not tough. They can't even push a fucking walk behind lawnmower. But they're going to go to the tech center in reckless, Lexus, and cut in and out, no blinkers, pass on the right shoulder, pass when the lane's ending. And then they're going to go into their office and talk to another coworker about not being quite professional. Okay, Spack. You can't drive a fucking car. You can't behave out here with others, but now you're going to go into the office. I'm doing well. I hate corporate America. I hate it. They're heartless. They're hypocrites. They cannot live down here. They got more education. They make more money than we do. And they're the biggest assholes on the American planet. Screwing people out of their income. Call customer service. They're not interested in fixing the problem. They're interested in getting your fucking money. Corporate America is of the devil. And you get these little pussies that go in a gym all day trying to look at girls in sports bras. And some of those girls are stronger and tougher than these pussy males up there going, yeah, I eat Joe Weider and I drive like an asshole. I'm a man. There's women that are stronger than these pussies in suits and ties. Please. I talk tough in my videos because I'm tired of holding back. I don't think I can take anybody. I don't go around life like that. I don't live with that thinking. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to fight with this. I don't give a shit what you men think about my looks, my attire. I don't care. Do you understand that? Laugh, mock, make yourself feel better by slamming somebody to the mat with your personal commentary. But my truth still remains. You're an asshole. And there's people that brag about that. Little baby boys like stuff like South Park, Beavis and Butthead, and all those stupid, sarcastic shit buttworm shows that encourage that disrespectful behavior. Yeah, I've seen the results of it. I remember years ago, I drove Central High School on the school bus in Duluth. And I remember it became a standing comment that I'd make. There was something wrong with me. I believe in being nice to my students. They get on the bus, hello. They get off the bus, have a good evening. 99% of them won't respond and won't talk. It took me years to finally learn stop talking to these jackasses. They don't want to be polite. Open the door, let them walk off, shut the door, and roll on. Treat them like cows. Come on, let's go. Cars are waiting. I'm trying to get my stuff. Well, you should be getting that stuff 5 minutes ago instead of holding me up for 5 minutes with 10 cars waiting to get around my stop sign. Come on, let's go. And I had this thing about Central High School in Duluth. I had some awesome kids, but I had a lot of the boys that were in hockey, and they would look at me with this look. They thought I was retarded because I was nice because, you know, middle school and high schoolers think that they get to define the word cool and what is passe and what is no go. I'm almost 60. And you know what's funny is I look back at the dumb shit that I got all wrapped up in as a kid. And I look back and go, man, I really was retarded back then. And kids don't think that. They're with their little peers and they we're cool. Beavis. Really? I love working with teens. I liked working with middle schoolers the best. When I first started driving a bus back in 1990, I did not like middle schoolers. I was terrified of them. When you look up in the mirror on your first field trip and you go, shit, I got 70 kids back there looking at me going, it sucks. And the last place I drove a bus for, I'd like to see these white assholes in suits and ties come and drive a bus for the place I worked. I'd love to see these Spackies or these Toyota Sequoia Denver yupsters. I'd like to see them drive a bus for 1 month down in some of the areas I drove for as a white guy. They would eat them for lunch. These guys would go home in tears. They'd be terrified. Yeah, it's nice when you're in a little business fucking world, in your Lexus world, acting shitting all over society, but turn into the wrong neighborhood and do that and watch what happens, business boy. Come down here and do that. Man found dead in his Lexus. I love how white people feel safe to be an asshole in a place that isn't going to take them to task. You think you're a man, come down here and drive these kids. I don't do it no more. I had years of experience and they got to me. That's not why I left. I left for other reasons. I left to get rid of stress in my life. You think because you make money and you wear a suit and tie, you're better than people. What about that plumber you cut off? You can't fix your damn plumbing. He just saved your ass. Can you show him some respect? What about that bus driver? You can't stand being behind the bus and you think all bus drivers are retarded. I challenge you, Lexus pussy. Go get in that bus with 80 kids that hate your fucking guts and drive through metro traffic when they're going, "You're a fucking dick bus driver," and starting fights and going to hell back there and maintain your cool and drive them to school safe. Bet you can't. I'd like to see Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates drive a school bus in this area that I live. I'd like to see Oprah Winfrey, Barack Obama, or the big who's who in the black community drive a bus down here. Not just for a day, not with cameras on them, but go through CDL training and go down there. Do you think these kids will give a shit who you are? Not these ones. Not these ones. The American male is so full of bravado and peacocking confidence. Take them out of this little environment where they can get away with being a shithead and put them over here and see how long they last. I would enjoy that show. I'd pull out a fold-out chair on the streets of Detroit. Have my bag of food. I'm putting my money on that black hood rat over there. That white boy is going to learn a lesson today. He's not as tough as he thinks he is. Where's the real men in our society? Want me to go further? Real men don't vote Democrat. You want me to poke the bear? Real men do not vote Democrats. The Democrat Party is dominated by intense feminist females. And if you want to be a man, you don't support feminism. You support rights of women, but you don't support feminism. American women today should not be controlling us men. But let's go a step further, males, because I'm going to unpack you and I'm going to reveal what you really are. You're bought and owned by corporate. You're bought and owned by Ford, Chevy, and Dodge. You're bought and owned by your own damn insecurities. And the only way you know how to roll and revolve is, what the fuck you say? I remember there was a girl on the bus. She had some special needs and she would say, "What you say, me?" And you got some corporate asshole who gets in his car and thinks that he's entitled. And he looks at all of society out there and says, they don't make as much as me. These guys shouldn't even be on the road. I worked with a guy who sold trucks. And he constantly told me all these semis should be bound on the road during rush hour. And I said, "You hear what you're saying? You make a lucrative money selling trucks, and you're going to talk about that the truckers need to change. How about all these idiots in their cars clogging up the roads and don't know how to drive? You want to remember something, you little pussies in your cars and SUVs? All that shit you buy from Amazon and Walmart and the malls, guess who brought it there? Not Dickhead and Lexus at the Denver Tech Center." I'd like to see that business spacky shift 10 speeds. I'd like to know what that business spacky would do when his brakes went out and he forgot to downshift on Genesee up in Colorado. Watch a scared little pussy shit his pants before he crashes. See, American men need to realize there's a whole lot of men that do different things. And just because they have this privileged position, it takes all of us to run the world. I would rather be around men that are well adjusted, that are genuine, that are kind, men that can give each other a hug and it's not thought that you're a fag, men that can come up and say, "I like your outfit, I like your style." Men that can stop and be genuine to a kid. Not, "Hey bud, hi bud, how you doing, bud?" A man who can bend his knee and say, "John, that's pretty cool. Thanks for making that for me. I have my problems and I have my insecurities every damn day of my life. I am not the picture of the well adjusted male." I get up and pull my pants on and face the day every day, though. But I talk to kids the same way I talk to anybody else. I don't talk in child directed speech. That's why kids like me. That's why I have influence. Business backies are for themselves. The idiot in the Toyota Sequoia that's trying to impress his ding dong, milk toast, high maintenance, self centered narcissist wife who can't put her fucking phone down, and he's got his hand draped over the wheel, that decides he's going to be cool and show off to a school bus. That guy belongs in a mental health facility. I don't like our car culture in this country. Now you got these punk ass people street racing, spinning around and around, sliding out of control, hitting fire hydrants, fucking up their car, hitting standbys, and they think that shit's cool. And I get on there and leave a comment. I got 10 of those little fucking fruit flies buzzing around me going, hey, pussies, the road isn't the place for that. You think you're badass? Go put some money down on your local track and go show out there and do it the right way. And maybe make it to NASCAR, but your street bullshit is just bullshit. Do something. Quit being a ghetto punk ass idiot. I'm not going to apologize for this. As you know, I don't get along with most men. I'm not going to apologize. I don't want to be around most men that are acting like that. Why would I? Why? Why? It don't make sense to me, Wilbur. No, it don't, cowboy. No, it don't. I vented my spleen. I'm not exactly the example of a great godly Christian, but I believe. I believe in that book, the Bible. God's not done with me yet. My language isn't perfect. My thought life isn't perfect. I don't always walk in the Christian grace that I ought to walk. But I know one thing, and what I said in here, the majority of men in this country, they got a problem. We talk about women. We talk about feminization. We talk about women and their immaturity and their emotionally driven logic. But folks, we got a huge subculture of emotionally driven logic men. Driving your car like an idiot does not make you macho. Revving your accelerator, playing your pimpy music, blasting up and down residential areas. Man, you got older people, your own skin color, that don't want to hear that. They're in their fucking house. Cut them some slack. Go sit at the abandoned shopping center and have your little car powwow and crank it up. Nobody's going to mind. But here, please, men, you need to get a grip. Start becoming a man. Stop acting like a bad boy and a dirt ball. That one right there.